Imagine you just walked into a tech store and swiped your card for a brand new, top-of-the-line $3,000 MacBook. You have the cash sitting in your checking account, and you log in the very next morning to pay the balance in full. You feel responsible. You feel financially elite. But 3 days later, you get a notification from Credit Karma. Your score just plummeted 40 points. You didn't miss a payment. You didn't apply for a loan. You did everything right, yet the algorithm treated you like a high-risk gambler. This isn't a glitch in the system. It's a feature of how banks take a snapshot of your life. The mystery of the snapshot. Most of us are playing a game where we don't even know the rules. We've been told since we got our first starter card that the due date is the holy grail of finance. If you pay by the due date, you win. While that's true for avoiding interest, it has almost nothing to do with your credit score. We tend to think the credit bureaus Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax are watching a live, 24/7 high-definition stream of our bank accounts. We think if we pay off a debt at 2 p.m., the bureaus know about it by 2:05 p.m. But the credit scoring system isn't a movie. It's a Polaroid camera. And unfortunately, the photographer always seems to show up at the exact moment your financial house is the messiest, right before you have a chance to clean it up for the month. Today, we are breaking down credit utilization. This is the single fastest lever you can pull to manipulate your score. You can't make your credit history older overnight, and you can't make a hard inquiry disappear, but you can change your utilization in 48 hours and see a massive jump in your score. The due-date trap. To master this, you have to visualize the timeline of a credit cycle. Let's look at a generic Apex card with a $10,000 limit. The billing cycle, usually 30 days long. The statement closing date. This is the day the music stops. This is the day the bank looks at your current balance, generates that PDF bill, and most importantly, hardcodes that number into your credit report. The due date. This usually happens 21 to 25 days after the statement closes. If you spend $4,000 on car repairs throughout the month and wait until the due date to pay it off, the bank has already sent a report to the bureaus on the statement closing date saying you are using 40% of your credit. To the credit bureau, it doesn't matter that you paid it off 3 weeks later. Their record for that month show you as a high utilization risk. You are living in real time, but your credit score is living on a 30-day lag based on yesterday's news. The statement date hack. The solution is a simple timing adjustment we call the statement date hack. Instead of being a reactive payer, you become a proactive manager of the snapshot. Instead of waiting for the bill to arrive, you pay your balance down 3 to 4 days before the statement closing date. If you have that $4,000 balance and you pay $3,990 of it before the cycle ends, the bank generates a bill for exactly $10. That $10 is what gets reported to the bureaus. Suddenly, the snapshot they receive shows you using 0.1% of your credit instead of 40%. Then, you simply pay that final $10 by the actual due date to avoid interest. You've used the card exactly the same way, but you've curated the data the algorithm sees. The math of the cliff. You might think, does it really matter if they see $1,000 or $10? According to the FICO pie chart, it matters more than almost anything else. Payment history is 35%. Amounts owed, utilization, is a staggering 30%. Nearly 1/3 of your entire financial reputation is based on this one ratio, balance divided by limit. This is a highly volatile and sensitive metric. 30% utilization. This is the first major cliff. Once you cross this, the algorithm flags you as a potential risk. 50% utilization. You enter the crisis zone. Your score will likely take a significant hit here. 90 to 100%. You are in free fall. The system assumes you are maxing out cards because you are broke, even if you have $100,000 in savings. This applies to your total available credit across all cards, but also to each individual card. If you have a card with a small $500 limit for gas and groceries, and you accidentally let a $450 balance report, your score will tank because that specific card is at 90% utilization. even if your other cards are empty. The memoryless advantage. The best part about this amounts owed category is that, unlike a late payment which scars your report for 7 years, utilization is memoryless. In common models like FICO 8, the algorithm only cares about the most recent snapshot. If you had 90% utilization in June and your score dropped 50 points, but you use the statement date hack in July to report 1%, your score will bounce back in August as if the June spike never happened. You can literally fix a bad score in 30 days just by changing the reporting date. The ghost penalty AZEO. Now, you might think the goal is to report $0. That is a mistake. If every single one of your cards reports a $0 balance, the FICO algorithm gets confused. It looks at your report and sees no data. It can't tell if you were responsible with debt or if you simply stopped using credit altogether. In the eyes of the algorithm, a ghost who uses no credit is riskier than a person who uses a tiny bit responsibly. To get a perfect score, you use the AZEO strategy, all 0 except 1. You pay all your cards to $0 before their statement dates, but on your primary card, you leave a small, nominal balance around 1% of the limit. If your limit is $1,000, let it report a $10 balance. This provides an active use signal that tells the algorithm you are managing debt perfectly without any risk of default. The execution protocol. To do this correctly, you have to fire your autopay as your primary manager. Autopay is designed to prevent late fees. It is not designed to optimize your score. 1. Find the date. Don't look at the app's due date. Open a PDF of your last 3 statements and look for statement closing date or billing period ends. 2. Set a 48-hour buffer. If your statement closes on the 20th, set a calendar alert for the 18th. Bank transfers can take a day or 2 to clear, and you need that payment to post before the snapshot is taken. 3. The manual push. On your alert day, log in and pay your balance down to that 1% sweet spot. 4. The cleanup. Once the statement generates, pay that final 1% before the actual due date. Warning: credit cycling and red flags. There's one way to break this system that can get you banned from a bank: credit cycling.
If you have a $2,000 limit and you spend $2,000, pay it off, spend another $2,000, and pay it off all in the same month, you have cycled a $4,000 through a $2,000 limit.
To a bank's risk department, this looks like money laundering or bust-out fraud. They gave you a $2,000 limit because that is the maximum risk they are willing to take on you. By cycling, you're forcing them to take on more volume than they agreed to. If you find yourself needing to pay your card off multiple times a week just to keep using it, you don't need a hack. You need a credit limit increase. Call your bank, show them your high usage and perfect payments, and ask for more room. A higher limit makes utilization management effortless. The future, FICO 10T. While the snapshot is king for now, new models like FICO 10T are starting to look at trended data. They are starting to look back 24 months to see if you're someone who constantly runs high balances and only pays them down when you need a loan. However, adoption of these models is slow. For mortgages and auto loans today, the snapshot strategy is still the most powerful tool in your belt. Defensive strategy and conclusion. Finally, never close your old accounts. Even if you don't use that old college card, it provides ballast for your utilization. It keeps your total limit high, which keeps your utilization percentage low. Put a small $10 subscription on it, set it to autopay, and let it sit in a drawer as a score protector. Let's recap. Stop obsessing over the due date for your score. Start obsessing over the statement closing date. Keep your reported utilization under 10% for an elite score. Use the AZEO method, 1% on one card, to signal active, responsible use. Avoid credit cycling to keep your account safe. The banking system is a game of data. Most people only know how to avoid losing fees and interest, but now you know how to actually win. I want you to try this for exactly 1 billing cycle. Find your date, make the payment early, and when your score jumps, come back here and tell us how many points you gained. Thanks for watching. Control the snapshot, control your future. I'll see you in the next one.